Hello and welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm your host, Nobody, and today we're going back to Instruments of Destruction. So in the last episode, I built this M16 half-track, and let me tell you, it turned out pretty alright. Some of these angles were giving me hell, especially with the hood here. Some of the controls definitely gave me a hard time with this build, but overall, I felt the half-track was a success. So in today's episode, how can we possibly top a World War II M16 half-track? Well, an idea came to me through Discord. A user by the name of Sneaky Carrot. Just an idea, since you're making iconic figures in Instruments of Destruction, how about making Wally? Well, I thought that was a really good idea, so I decided to go on to Firefox here and just look up some of these images for Wally, and you know what? I think this guy's model lends himself very well to the mechanics of this game. Lots of right angles, lots of straight lines. There's a little bit of curvature with the eyes. We'll try to address that when we get to it, but my biggest concern with Wally is his tracks, actually. His tracks are unlike anything pre-existing in the game, which means I have to make these by scratch, which is honestly something I'm genuinely concerned about, but we will do our best to make it happen. And with nothing more to talk about, let's go ahead and get into the build. Alright guys, and with a little bit of headache, we finally finished Wally. Now the track, shockingly enough, only took me about a little over an hour to actually complete. I thought it was going to take me quite a bit longer. It took me a second to realize I needed to make these side pieces big, or it wasn't really grabbing anything. It didn't really add a recess to the tracks. But once I figured that out, everything kind of landed in place. Now we'll go ahead and just spawn Wally in here. We got to go ahead and hit G as with some of my other creations. That is for the gyro stabilization. So we do have some pretty good movement, and you can see these tracks, shockingly, are a massive success. They have no issues with derailing. They did at the beginning, but I added quite a few more sprockets, and they are promptly stuffed in between those tracks. So I have no concerns, even with reverse gear. I have no concern with these tracks ever derailing off of the sprockets here. Now, unlike a lot of my other builds, this one is kind of a shot in the wind. There is definitely a lot more controls. It is actually a complicated build compared to some of the things I have made in the past, which is something I did not like doing, but I figured it was for the better cause. Wally is a very iconic character, and I wanted to do him proper justice. So we'll go ahead and start off with some pretty basic controls. We have our arrow controls. Now, they are going to kind of correlate with the fingers you can see here, but we do have forward and back motion as well. Now, if we hit Y and H, we actually have the eye articulation, so we can, in theory, make Wally sad. So let's go ahead and point him over here, get him into the light a little bit. You can see that we have a little issue with his eyes, but, you know, for the most part, it's pretty damn good. Now, some other simple controls. We just got one for his little fingertip lasers. Nothing too big of a deal there. Now, his arm movement is actually very complicated. We can do 2 and 3 because in the movie, his arms were on rails and they could slide forward and backwards. I wanted to definitely get that incorporated into the game itself as well. We have R and F to raise and lower the arms, and we also have Z and H. These will actually open and expand the arms just like that. So, you know, a little combination of the two. We get little motions like this. We can get them to wave and all that jazz. Now, a pretty cool thing that we can do as well, if we go ahead and turn on these lasers and we hit 5, we have a little jabbing action, a little dancing. So we can also, you know, just drive this guy forward and he will just punch his way through buildings. Now, I know his eye looks a little jacked up, but if we also hit E and Q, we also have little vortexes inside of his eyes here. Now, I'm actually going to wait and show you guys on another map the secrets that this lunchbox holds. And let me tell you, it's actually pretty damn cool. So let's go ahead and jump into another map and show you what this guy can do. All right, and here we go. We are on Structural Zoo number 1. We got to go ahead and hit G right away for that gyro stabilization here. See if we can just go ahead and pick up his arms, maybe bring him in a little bit closer. I want to try out his little fingers of doom. I'm going to be seeing this for the first time with you guys. I have not done any preliminary testing here. And then we'll just go ahead and hit 5. And yeah, I mean, it's not the most destructive thing. Definitely not. But it's still funny as hell to watch Wally here do a little jig. Now, if some of you guys were watching, you did kind of notice something going on with that lunchbox, but that's gonna wait. Now, the next thing on Wally's list of destructive abilities is E and Q, his actual eyes. So if we just go ahead and hit E, we suck in the world, and if we hit Q, it does the exact opposite. Nothing too damn destructive, but all the same, he can give nice hugs all the same. And you know what? I think that actually might be enough to actually bring this building down. Let's just go ahead and ram it and see. Well, actually, we didn't have to even do that. So let's go ahead and hit Q. Just blow that building away. There we go. Wally just gives a little head nod, and the building is gone. Now, I have lovingly dubbed the lunchbox of doom, and you guys are about to see what this guy can actually do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually rotate Wally here. We're going to try our best to put this right in between these two buildings here without doing much damage. And now for number 4. If we hit 4, it'll go ahead and disconnect, and it'll automatically connect itself to the ground. I'm going to go ahead and turn Wally around because I just think this part's quite funny. You know, we'll also raise his arms into the air, and if we hit 5... there we go. We have an earthquake generator, and Wally just gives a little dance in celebration of the destruction. Now, there are magnets inside of the earthquake generator that when the buildings finally do disconnect, they will just blow away just like that. Wally just having a time of his life, having a rave, dancing with all the destruction going on. Wally is actually currently very sad that the commotion is already done and over with, but you know what? He will be okay, because with this much destruction going on, how could Wally possibly be sad? If you guys did enjoy the build of Wally, please consider leaving a like down below. That lets me know that you guys want to see more builds and instruments of destruction. As always, links to my workshop builds are down in the description down below if you guys do indeed play this game yourself. And with that, guys, I will see you all on the next one.